class today, Kristen, you might need a strap. And if you have a block or two, yoga block, that would be great. If you don't have these items, you can use for a block, you can use a book or something like that, or a couch cushion. We're not super fancy with this class. And then for a strap, if you don't have a strap, you can use something like a belt or a tie. I'm using a yoga mat, also not necessary. You could use a towel. Again, bringing that rib cage over your pelvis, sitting up nice and tall. Let's take the shoulders up, down, and back. Inhale here at the bottom, and as you exhale, up, down, and back. One more time. Inhale at the bottom, exhale up, down, and back. Let's go ahead and take a quarter turn to the right. We'll take the right hand behind us, looking over that right shoulder, making sure rib cage stays over pelvis. And we're turning here with our um, thoracic and cervical spine, which means your broad line and up. Really trying to get that chin over to the right shoulder. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then exhale as we twist around to the other side to the left, looking over that left shoulder, feeling nice and tall, almost like someone's pulling a string out of the top of your head, taking the chin, bringing it over to the left shoulder, making sure we're breathing here. Inhale a nice deep inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to come forward. Next inhale brings the arms up. As we exhale, we'll take the right hand down to the mat. Left hand is going to come up over top of the head. While we're here, we're going to take a couple nice deep breaths, directing that into the side body here. One of the things that we like to do is try to get a good deep 360 breath. So that's 360 degrees. So that's side to side, front and back. As we expose this left side body, great opportunity to take some breaths into it while we have the right side pinned down. Next inhale will bring your arms up, and as we exhale, taking it over to that other side, taking about 3 to 5 deep breaths in this right side body. We're trying to open up the diaphragm, get the breathing proper in your upper diaphragm, because then that supports the lower diaphragm, which is in the pelvic floor. One more nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Next inhale is going to bring the hands up. As we exhale, we're going to rock forward, come forward onto hands and knees. Knees go under your hips, hands go under your shoulder. We're going to do a few cat-cows here. So tucking those hips under, we're going to round into the back, gaze at the navel, being super intentional as we change positions, untucking the hips, dropping the lower belly button, the lower belly, then the belly button, then the rib cage, then pulling the collarbone up through to come into your cow pose. Tucking those hips again, rounding into that low back, the mid back, the upper back, and then gazing at the navel. Untucking the hips, dropping the low belly, the belly button, the rib cage, and then pulling through with that collarbone. And we're watching we don't crank into the neck. Look maybe 3 feet in front of you in the mat. As we stay here in this cow position, we're going to take our toes and plant them on the mat. We're going to rock back. So we'll just do 3 to 5 of these. This is opening the back part of your pelvic floor, stretching that out. And if you're thinking, hey, Paula, I don't know if I need to be stretching that. Odds are you do. If you're doing stuff like peeing your pants when you're coughing or sneezing, odds are you have a tight pelvic floor and not a loose pelvic floor. My goodness, if I could talk this morning. And so when we stretch the tissue, we're allowing the pelvic floor to gain some movement and elasticity so that it can get stronger. Next time we come up, we're going to untuck the toes, bring the back into a neutral position. Take the right hand, bring it up to the sky. Look at the right thumb. We're going to come into a thread the needle, taking this right hand underneath the body. Right ear comes down to the mat. Staying here, thread the needle position. Pushing into the left hand, pushing the right hand back up to the sky, opening that up, really trying to get some thoracic mobility again, which is the bra line up to the top of the head. Top of the head brings you into the cervical spine. And then bringing this right hand down to the mat. Let's take the left hand up, looking up at that left thumb, opening, opening, opening. Inhale at the top, exhale, thread that through, left ear comes down to the mat. Thread the needle position here is helping us with our thoracic mobility. You can potentially feel the sit bones again lengthening in the back. If you don't know what your sit bone is, you can reach around, find that bony protrusion, and there are two of them, one on each side, and they come apart. Putting your right hand back down to the mat, left hand comes all the way back up. Left hand comes down. Let's go ahead and have a seat, and we're going to come all the way down onto our back. Reclining here, we're going to start by taking one of our blocks. If you have a block, you can use a couch cushion, you can use a pillow, it doesn't matter to me. We'll take this, we'll put it under the tush in a bridge position. You can do it in the low position or the high position. We're just going to hang out here for 3 to 5 breaths. Making sure you're breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. This is a great position for pelvic organ prolapse. So if you have any prolapse, this is a wonderful position for your prolapse, as that gravity is now bringing the organs towards your head instead of the vaginal opening. This also is a great lymphatic drainage position. There are lymph nodes in your groin there. And just all around good to reverse that blood flow for digestion, for circulation, for all that stuff. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and push the hips up, taking the block out. We'll bring the booty down, knees into the chest, rock back and forth just a little bit. Grabbing behind the knees, let's open the legs wide. So this is prep for happy baby. If you want to stay here, it's still early yet in the morning, you can. Or you can grab your big toe or the outside blade of your foot, coming into that happy baby. If you want to do a little bit of movement, you can. If you keep your hands behind your knees, that is quite all right. Just go ahead and rock back and forth, taking it easy this morning. We're not in a rush to do anything. This is just a super short practice, 10 to 15 minutes. I actually was talking about this course to somebody yesterday. Let's go ahead and take behind the knees, opening the legs. And I was telling them this is the brushing your teeth version of pelvic floor. So if you do this every other day or every day, it's going to benefit you and your pelvic floor like brushing your teeth benefits your teeth and your gum health. Let's bring the legs closed, bringing the feet down to the mat. Let's cross the right ankle over the left leg. And here's where you might want your strap. We're going to grab behind the left leg. If you can't comfortably get your head, neck, and shoulders back down onto the mat once you do that, I suggest using the strap. And that's just a flexibility thing. It's not better one way or the other. Let's take this left leg and we'll push it over towards the left shoulder. You should feel a sensation in your right hip. And then we'll take it and we'll push it over towards the right shoulder. So this is your left knee pushing over towards the right shoulder. We're just subtly changing this figure 4 movement. Let's again push towards the left. and then the right. Ugh, it's so good. We'll take this back to a neutral position. Left foot is going to come into the air. We'll do a little nerve flossing, point flex the foot. Let's do this 3 times. Come back up, point flex the foot, bring it down, point flex, and this is flexing. This is flossing the sciatic nerve on that left side. Bring this whole foot down to the mat, right foot uncrosses. We're going to do, before we do the other side, a little bit of pelvic tilting. So we'll take the pelvis and we'll push it forward. So when you push it forward, you're going to feel like the back of the hip bones are coming off the mat. That's good. Then push it back so that the pelvis is pointed towards the face almost. Then push it forward and back. Now, as you're doing this, try to do it with your lower abs and not your booty muscles. So if you want to reach around and see, is your booty muscle nice and squishy while you're doing this? Mine is. I've done this a lot. I'm using the muscles from my pubic bone to my belly button and from hip bone to hip bone to make this happen. And so targeting those muscles is super important because we don't want to be a glute clencher. If you're clenching your glutes, if you're finding yourself clenching your glutes at any time during the day, that could mean that you're also clenching into the pelvic floor, which is then adding to that tightness that we talked about earlier. Go ahead one more time through this. Point it towards the face, point it towards away from you. And then bring your feet in, your knees into the chest. Rock back and forth a little bit. This time, right foot comes down. Left foot crosses over that ankle. We're in a supine figure 4. Bringing that right leg towards the body. Using that strap if you can't get your head, neck, and shoulders down to the mat. We'll take this knee. We'll point it towards the right shoulder. Oh my goodness, this side is so much tighter for me than the other. Woof. You should feel a big sensation in that left hip. Then let's take this over towards the left. So right knee travels towards the left. Again, right knee travels towards the right. Right knee travels towards the left. And then last time, right. And you'll take this leg to a neutral position off the hip so it's in line with the hip. And we'll take the foot up in the air, point flex, do that little nerve floss. Again, point flex. We'll do 3 of those. This is the sciatic nerve we're flossing. Goes right through the piriformis in your butt cheek. A lot of times we can have tight piriformis, SI joint pain, or sciatica, and those do not help any of the pelvic floor issues. Let's go ahead and put this right foot down. Left foot comes down. Windshield wiper the legs, allowing them to fall all the way over to the side. We got 2 more. And when you come to one side or the other, go ahead and keep rolling over onto your side, coming back to our seated position. Again, stacking that rib cage over pelvis. We'll go ahead and inhale nice and deep, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. And I say to everybody, namaste. Thank you so much for coming for this short and sweet practice. You can go ahead and use the online videos as many times as you want. Those are included with your membership. And may your coffee and your pelvic floor be strong today.